Whoa! Welcome back to another cast of Nerd BS. I'm Alan, and it is the 8th episode of the second season. We are at June 6th of 2023. I went all in on a Tuesday, so if we say like tomorrow or whatever, we're on Tuesday right now, so we may not be on the exact day. But I am joined by a couple of cool dudes. One being Kyle.
Hey there, cool dude number one here. Great to be here.
Real cool and hip. And Tomas is over there. I stop laughing into the mic.
Cool Deucey. No, that's not a good
Whoa,
one.
Deucey.
Dude, there's children that watch this cast, I think.
And they
Clearly.
No. Hey, what's up, everyone? I guess cool dude number 2 here.
He is the Deuce. That's what we want to. That's his nickname now. The Deuce.
The Deuce. My bad.
Nailed it.
Anyways, all right. So you guys do anything this week? Anything crazy? Because I've been just working. So what have you guys been up to?
So last week we didn't record like we had planned to.
I think we skipped 2 weeks, right? I think we skipped one and then another.
No, I think we only skipped one.
It was just last week. We were supposed to.
I feel like it was only one.
Yeah, because it's only been 3 weeks since the last recording.
I'm not 100%. Okay, 3 weeks. All right. So what's up?
Well, we're telling you, it's 100%. So
okay, 100%. I'll take your word for it.
That's right. Just like everything you read on the internet. So we were supposed to record, but I bailed out, and it was the last week of school work. So working for school district.
No.
And I completed my first full year as a substitute teacher, working full time, mind you. So I was at the same school every day, basically subbing for a different teacher every day. And man, I'll tell you what, I will not be going back to that position. So I'm going to go into full-time teaching, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay. Not that gig though. Gotcha.
It was called a rover sub. And because I would rove around usually, and sometimes I'd sub for multiple teachers in a day, like go to one class and the next class because they'd have meetings or whatever. And
you got prep for each class in between classes, like if you had to do math, would you have to and then you jump into history?
What?
Stressful.
Wow,
sounds insane.
That'd be nice, but absolutely not. I mean, half the time I'd come into class late because I'd have to kick kids out of the previous class, and there's 6 minutes in between, and I want to get out and just, no, I laugh because, no, that's how crazy of a year it was. Plus, after talking to my wife, who's worked for 16 years at the same job in the same school, she said this was the hardest year for behavior she's ever seen in her 16 years. So I was like, oh, good. Well, my first full year, I was like, basically, if I can make it this year, I think I'm going to be okay. And
as long as it doesn't get worse.
As long as I keep my health. Yeah, well, that's the thing.
So,
I mean, we could talk at length about this because this is the educational podcast for teachers. So, but like, yeah, that's the scary part of it. Like, if behaviors just continue to decline and we don't work with parents and the admin, what's going to happen? But it's not to that point either way. Like, so all that being said, this week, the past few days, we've been off hanging with our own kids and just living the dream. It's nice to have. It's not paid time off, but it's time off. So
it's time off. Yeah, it's time to get your mental health back in check. Amen. Hopefully.
Amen. Yeah.
That's good to hear. What about you, Tomas? How you been this week? These last couple weeks? Same old.
Yeah, nothing's really been changing that drastically here.
He beat Dark Souls 3 again and Elden Ring. So
no.
He's just all over the map, huh?
No,
that's awesome.
If anything, I was messing around.
Enjoy it while you can, because when you're a famous author, you will have no time, and you'll be yelled at like people yell at J.A. Martin, George R.R. Martin. Like, when you making that book, buddy?
Although what I'll say, man, if publishers take as long as they're taking with me as they do with J.R.R. Martin or J.R.R. Martin or whatever.
Yeah,
I can see why. I can see why it takes him forever to publish something because he's probably done and just like, why won't they put it out yet?
I mean, I know what you're going. I mean, I don't know what you're going through, but I've been hearing what you're going through, and I feel like he's at the point where they're speed fasting his stuff through.
Yeah.
As soon as they're done, like they want that money. So
that's what I'm really hoping is that like after this, it's like hopefully it
got the growing pains right now.
Yeah, hopefully it makes a big enough splash that the next few just continue out faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, it's only going to be good, just like how George Lucas had already wrote the prequels for Star Wars. Yeah. They were already written before the original trilogy, so clearly they were.
Like a napkin, maybe he had an idea.
hey! The podcast was pretty cool. I mean, the pod race, not podcast.
The
pod race was pretty cool.
The fight with Maul was good. I mean, I felt like the Obi-Wan fight and stuff.
I don't think anybody will deny that those films didn't have good choreography with the lightsaber fights.
Yeah,
that's definitely the highlight of those films.
Far superior.
But anyway,
it was. Yeah, I was saying a joke from the old Clerks TV show.
Which, if you haven't seen, find it because it is great and also probably pretty difficult to find. I don't know.
Dude,
I know.
Well, you could probably still buy the DVD cheap if you have a DVD player. Well, everyone has a DVD player if you have a PlayStation. But
I have the DVDs, but they're a little scratched up, I think, because I used to watch them a lot.
Well, it's only 3 episodes. They gotta be like on YouTube. There's only 3 episodes.
Oh, I'm sure there's somewhere. I hope there. Well, Dogma's not, so I guess there's that.
Really?
So.
Oh, really?
Dogma's in some weird licensing thing. I'd have to look it up exactly the details.
It's in limbo. I get it because it's religious. All right.
Yeah, but it's become one of those expensive physical medias because it's not available digitally, which I have it on DVD.
I don't know, dude. I don't.
At least that's what I've understood.
I don't believe you. There's not a lot of movies that are going that high anymore.
You might be right. Looks like you can get it on Amazon for $15. I lied to you all.
15.
Unless you want the Blu-ray. If you want the Blu-ray, though, you're going to be spending about $120.
Okay.
So,
see, I was going to say there's some random stuff. Yeah. You get it for
is pretty good for a movie.
You get it for $65 on eBay used, but that's still like way
pretty
too
high
much.
for a Blu-ray.
Way too high. Like there's no reason for that, and there's like 1,000 of them on there. Like, come on.
You can't all be trying to get that much money.
Exactly. It's a good movie, but not. Come on, it's not that good.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go over our social stuff real quick. At nerd_BS is our Twitter. Our Discord is connected to that, so we will have a link in the description. We have a email at nerdbackstory@gmail.com. And we have my Twitter at ScadMatrix. So if you follow me or ask to join our Discord, I will gladly invite you in or check the link. And I think these guys can also do the same. And we'll go to Tomas, and then we will go to Kyle.
All right. Well, my Twitter is at TomasFDiaz86. It's the same for my Instagram. They're both at TomasFDiaz86. And I have a website, TomasFDiaz.com. That's where I post all my short stories and things like that. So yeah, come check it out.
And you can find me at Skyboston Video Games at Instagram or on Instagram. And I plan on doing a couple big sales because I have the summer time off now, and I have a freaking backlog of stock that I need to move and get my money back on because I've just been collecting for the past few months and not selling anything.
You just hoard it, and then it just becomes more collectible. Right?
Well, I actually watched a guy on Twitch who tried to do that, like in a comical way. He picked a cheap game, actually Wall Street Kid, as the joke, because he tried to affect Wall Street. So he bought this game on NES, Wall Street Kid, and he owns about, I don't know, a few hundred copies of it now. And it used to be like a $5 to $10 game, and it's gone up to about 15. So,
so he's almost there.
He's almost there. But then, are you going to find 300 people that want to buy that game? Like that's the thing.
I don't know. That's nuts.
But I plan on giving away the like several copies of Metroid Prime Remastered on the Switch.
Ooh, I might have to sign in for that one.
Yeah, just make sure you follow me on Instagram, and then you'll see all the posts coming up in the next couple weeks. So there's mine.
I've been attempting to use Instagram more. Twitter has gotten weird, and I know it's kind of an algorithm, but with all the people that have done with the blue check marks and with the lack of staff that you can definitely see, because the moderation has gone downhill. I don't know if you guys have heard about the movies that have just been leaked on there and left up for hours. And there's a lot of nudity as well. Like I don't like that. Clicking on something, it just pops up and I'm just like, why is this here? Where I'm on Twitter. Like it used to not be a thing, and now it's just
I'm going to stare at it for a minute, but it shouldn't be here.
A second, I just want to brace myself to move
get
forward.
My bearings.
Process this.
I need to report this, but I can't find the right button.
But because of that, though, I've been kind of moving over to Instagram to try to see if I can play around with that a little bit more, because I've been hearing a lot of people are going to Instagram. I've been hearing there's another social media being developed, a Blue Sky, by the same person, which I can't think of his name, who made Twitter in the first place. And then there's another Mastodon is the other one that's
I've heard of that one.
But I already have Instagram, so I'm not. So I'm already gonna. I'm just gonna try that one first before I start going around.
I've built up. I mean, it's not much, but I think I'm at 400 followers on Instagram, and not a lot of bots, right? So decent audience there. Thanks, and
maybe I should start promoting on Instagram more. I think I will. I think I'll start. Putting my stuff out on Instagram.
The pictures
on Instagram more.
The pictures help, right? And they have the tools where you can make the reels or whatever they're called on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can make them like the stories. You can do the stories, and they make that really easy to do. And you can post. You could put words on there, so it's really good for promoting. I'll give it that. I don't know about the exchange of ideas as much as Twitter, but for promoting, that's just because of the pictures. Like that alone is just makes it does make it
more digestible with all the pictures, because I do know on Twitter I still get captured by the pictures a lot quicker than I do with a wall of text, which is another reason why I don't know why they increased the number of words you can put in a tweet, because then it starts becoming a long story, and I don't want to read that.
I never really liked Twitter that much. I don't know. It just seemed weird to me, but it just seems to be getting worse. So,
well, I did enjoy it at one point. Yeah, but now it's becoming it's obviously becoming an issue. So TikTok, I do enjoy TikTok quite a bit. I will say that will suck hours out of you for sure.
Suck lives.
Suck lives. I mean, I'm sure it's doing that as well, but I enjoy it. But I don't know about making content on it. It feels kind of weird, in my opinion.
I haven't ventured over there. Have you, Tomas? Have you gone over there yet?
I have not. No.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, and you get a lot of really good ideas. And the algorithm, I mean, it's phenomenal. They have a great algorithm. You'll get into your pocket pretty quick. Like I get mainly D&D, video game, music stuff.
It's just though, like I went to Instagram and Twitter kicking and screaming, like And so if someone's
you're like years late with that.
Yeah, and so if like someone's like, "Oh, you can now join this," I'm just like, no, I barely just joined Instagram and Twitter. I have no urge to now venture out into
That's perfectly
Twitch.
fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's okay.
Although, I mean, it's probably going to be inevitable at some point. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of like, because I thought Twitter would kind of rise up, and maybe that's maybe that's its own thing. It's not the norm, but like Alan said, it's kind of going down, right? So now people are going back to Instagram, which was surprising because I thought it was the trend where, MySpace kind of kicked it all off. Facebook kind of took over that. Facebook's kind of, I don't know, they seem to be on a downward trend as far as usage. I don't go on there at all anymore. It's just the interface is awful.
It's awful. There's way too many ads, and that's becoming an issue with Twitter as well. There's way too many ads, and I don't like that. And also, it seems like most of the people I care about don't really use Facebook. Like, they'll have a Facebook, they don't use it.
I have mine to help promote my short stories, but really all I do is on the website.
I have the Facebook chat app, and I get about 2 or 3 chats a year from my parents.
I always delete it, and then I get a message, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna download the app again and just see this message," because you can't use the Facebook app to look at the message. You have to have the Messages app, so it's very frustrating.
It's backwards, yeah, for sure. So anyway, I thought the trend would be a new one. TikTok might be that new one, but at the same time, Facebook owns Instagram, so maybe it's just who can eat each other alive faster.
Yeah, so, Facebook's already in talk to making essentially a Twitter substitute through Instagram. That's what I've been hearing about. So basically, if you already have an Instagram, it'll just kind of carry over into that new thing that they're creating.
I think that's late in the game. Like, you don't need to.
Late, yeah. I think they're just trying to take it while Twitter's tumbling.
I get that, but like, why not just create the next thing? Maybe that's what they're doing, right? I have no idea. This is the first I'm hearing, and my source is because Alan said so.
Yeah, so it's true.
But like, why not just that's business, right? Like, what's the next thing that people are going to need and want, rather than like, let me just get in this little pocket while my competitor's down.
I think TikTok. I mean, as we've seen with the Meta, as I think they're called Meta, right? That's the company. They've been trying to do you're right. They purchased Instagram, and they created the stories or whatever to mimic what TikTok was doing.
Right.
And so that's what all they've really been doing is copying other people, if that makes sense, to try to just make their thing or buy it. If they can't buy it, they try to mimic it. So,
but that was the other thing, though. You was talking about TikTok. I feel like even YouTube has kind of emulated it successfully, because you're talking about that.
Yes.
And Instagram to a degree. I think I like YouTube's better, their algorithm.
Really? I haven't actually used their short format videos as much. My son has.
I pay for it, right? I pay for it for my
premium. Yeah, I've been meaning to do that again. Mm-hmm.
I would probably pay for it if I didn't use it for the business, but since I have it, I'll watch the long videos like as a show now. And then when in between, like on my lunch break, then I'll watch the shorts. And I don't know, I feel like that algorithm gets me better, and that's why I don't want to go to TikTok, because you'll see the TikTok logo in half of those videos anyways.
Yeah, a lot of that either find its way over. I know at first a lot of it was migrating from YouTube over to TikTok, and now a lot of because of how popular TikTok is, it's the reverse. Now TikTok something will blow up, and then it'll move over to other platforms. So.
Yeah, it kind of just trickles over. So eventually, we're just going to put on the Apple headset through the VR headset.
Oh my goodness, the $3,400 thing. But yeah,
we're all just going to put those on, and it's just going to be one conglomerate.
Just jack into the Matrix, and you'll be fine.
Hey,
we'll be in the Matrix. Like,
Are we already there?
Anyways,
This is the Nerd Matrix podcast, brought to you by
I think you should leave.
Meta.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
I think you should
Good day,
leave.
sir.
Just came out. I think you should leave. Just came out. It's season 3 on the ever popular Netflix streaming service that everybody loves. All their decisions that they've been making recently, but. But the new season came out, and have you guys watched this at all? I don't know if you guys have watched.
no, I haven't seen
I think you should leave with Tim Robinson.
I've watched a good amount, and he has become a living meme. His clips, like,
Oh, yeah.
if you don't know what it is, Tomas, you'd probably have seen, like,
I know the Tim Robinson. I know like what you're talking about, like those memes and stuff like
right,
that.
which are pretty dark. Like, I think are better than the show, but they wouldn't be there without the show.
No,
So-
yeah, of course.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
They work well for sure. I was enjoying seeing them on TikTok as they started doing the skits from the show, because I had been watching it since it came out originally, and I've really enjoyed it since then. It's been quite hilarious. The 3rd season is just more of the same, in a good way. It's just as crazy. It's just as funny. It's just as good. I mean, it's short format too, so it makes it digestible, easily digestible.
You don't see a lot of it as much anymore, other than, I guess, SNL, and I really don't like SNL anymore, or currently, I should say.
Yeah,
I'm
I have
willing
a hard
to go
time
back.
watching it too. Mhm.
It just maybe it's not our generation anymore, but I mean, all the way through the 90s and early 2000s, like, I was on board with it, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's just missing me. But then I even saw, like, that the SNL, and this is so side tangent, but they may or may not have kind of stolen a skit from a YouTuber, which
I did hear about that, a while ago.
And the YouTuber was not even, like, mad. He's kind of like, it could have just been like, it could have been out in the ether, right? Maybe someone saw it and they just didn't even realize they saw it, and they kind of made it their own. But it was, like, straight up the same skit, like, down to the costumes and everything, which is just so bizarre. And so that was weird to me for SNL. But other than that, like, too, I tried. I'm like, I don't get it where they're going with their comedy. So that being said, it's nice to see that there's other shows that are still doing that kind of comedy, maybe more scripted. Well, I guess SNL scripted, but, like, it's not live.
It's not live, so they can take cuts and things like that. They don't have to worry about doing everything in one take. They can kind of just, cut and things like that to make it a lot easier.
Right.
But it's still definitely that short form content with skits. So
right.
I can see where you're going with it.
Did you finish the news? Did they just dump the whole season?
Oh yeah, they're 15-minute episodes roughly, I think. And there's only 6 episodes, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's really, really short.
Yeah, so they're really short. It's really short. I won't deny that. I'm working my way. I'm working my way a second time through it. So as I think I'm on the 3rd or 4th episode right now, as I'm working my second way around. But with each of them being so short, I can just kind of throw it on when I go home from work. If I don't want to watch something that I need to focus on, I just want to laugh and just kind of enjoy myself. It's a great show for that.
Does it bother you though when he does the skits where he's just straight up screaming, or is that kind of you enjoy that?
I haven't. It hasn't bothered me. No, I don't know.
Okay, I think
I enjoy it.
That kind of, after a couple of times of him just yelling whatever the joke was, I was like, all right, I think I'm good.
It's definitely cringe humor, but I think it's not like super cringe, which is good because it has its cringe moments for sure. But I've seen much worse cringe humor.
But oh gosh, just go on to YouTube Shorts, like you'll get a whole row of it, and you'll have to dislike it and don't. Okay, another side tangent. The one thing I don't like about YouTube Shorts, and you can tell me if this is on TikTok or not, but they are trying to force feed me the gosh darn Joe Rogan podcast so bad that if I just see his face and this is all day, not all day, every day. It's kind of slowed down, but like if I just see his face, I just don't recommend. Like no, just like don't recommend because it was just too much. It was like I'm just watching an entire half hour of clips of a Joe Rogan podcast put together in a row in 15-second bites. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know what I clicked. I probably watched one that I enjoyed, and then it just was all that. So now I'm so tired of seeing clips of that podcast.
Joe Rogan does pop on my TikTok feed now and again. It's pretty rare, but
he's become like the.
It's
usually. I know he's still around, but he's kind of like the modern day Howard Stern at this point.
I guess, yeah, he's definitely an interesting dude, but I've never really felt interested in what he says because he said a lot of really cringe things that I kind of stay away from him because of it. Every once in a while there'll be another artist that's on his show, but I don't watch his show. It comes on with a clip and you can see the artist talking for a minute, but when it goes over to Joe, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm on the Joe Rogan show. Time to swipe.
Okay, exactly. And yeah, that's exactly. So it is. It's the same thing. That just. Yeah. I know it's a popular podcast, and I don't really care. I don't mind like whatever he said in the past. It's just I'm sick of seeing him. I guess. Like I don't need that much Joe Rogan in my life. YouTube.
I don't understand. Yeah, the modern day Howard Stern actually makes. That's a good comparison. I didn't even think about that. He kind of is because Howard Stern is still a thing, and he actually is still making his show from last time.
He is because he'll pop
up too. It's just not as relevant. Yeah, it's not as relevant anymore.
That's awful. It's so.
I've heard it's just everything I hear about it is like you really should have retired like a long time ago. Or
changed the way you do things, dude. Like because it's gross to see some of the same. It's like the same stuff. But back then it was like, oh my gosh, this is shocking and revolutionary or whatever. Now it's just like, okay, man, the gag's over in my opinion. Just at least Joe's just actually interviewing people. He'll say something stupid every now and then, but then at least he's actually interviewing these people. So
he's not just like trying to get someone to do a strip show.
For sure, but it's not gross is Netflix's password sharing rules that we all agree.
It is a little gross. It's a little gross.
Our very pro-capitalist motions.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know where I was transitioning with that one, but the password sharing stuff has come out, and it's a thing now. I know it's not affecting Tomas. Kyle, you talked about a little bit earlier that it was affecting you. It hasn't affected me yet, but the people I'm sharing are pretty close, so it may not affect us. I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see.
I wonder. They got to have like a whole team, a whole squadron of people, like cracking down on that, right? Or I don't know. Or
I'm
the Matrix.
Assuming it's an algorithm, it's supposed to be probably testing your IP address. I'm trying to look it up to figure out how exactly it works. I thought it was something with an IP address.
Right.
What about secure things like NordVPN or something?
VPNs.
So that is always the thing, is that is a possibility, because you can use I'm pretty sure you can use any VPN to imitate any IP address you want to. Yeah. So theoretically, you could do that. But 90 to 99% of the people that use Netflix aren't that tech savvy, so they're not gonna.
I just don't
bother looking into that. I would think. Who knows?
I probably should have a VPN, but I don't. So all you hackers who listen, come on in, I guess. But
everybody should have a VPN. But again, yes, I'm with you on that for sure.
I do enough like money exchanging. I probably should, but I don't know. I haven't had the need for it yet. So. Yeah. And there's so many other ways to watch movies and TV that I'm kind of okay with less selection at this point, because I've turned on Hulu and YouTube, obviously, and then even Amazon has had a pretty good selection of movies, at least catered to me.
Yeah, there's too much to watch. It's not that hard to just stop watching one of the services.
Yeah.
You can find things to watch if you really need to find stuff. I have too many services. I know I do. But like I'm watching, like I've had Paramount Plus for a while now because it was on. I got a free month, and then I went to quit, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta quit. We'll give you like 3 months for 50% off." And I was like, "Sure, I guess." And I took it. And then I think I've been paying it still. I don't know how long it's been since that has ended. At this point, I probably should look into it. But now I'm watching Reno 911 on it, even though I've had it for this long. So it's like, I mean, I guess I'm using it now, but I wasn't for a while.
You know who got me with that was DoorDash. They gave me like 3 months, and then they popped up like they charged me $10, and I was like, "What the heck?" Oh, that's right, I forgot to cancel it. I was like, "Well, we're getting DoorDash tonight because we're saving on delivery fees." But yeah, like I'm almost, because we share Disney, and I could kind of see. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me back up. I wanted to see what your guys' thought. I felt this would be a good time for us to predict, kind of maybe cast our ballots for what will happen with Netflix, because this is a big shift, right? Like, yeah, I'm getting the boot. You may or may not, Alan. Tomas, it doesn't really affect you.
Well, I pay for it, so I'm not getting the boot. So
you're the one
for it.
Okay.
So fortunately for me, my brother pays for the Hulu and I pay for the Netflix. So we swapped that way. So technically, I guess I have the better end of the deal for that reason for right now. If it's causing issues, yeah, for now.
And so I'd be curious to hear if he gets kicked off or not. And then Tomas, it kind of doesn't really affect you at the moment. But will this be a good move? Basically, my question is, will this be a good move for Netflix, or will it ultimately hurt them? And will they? Because for me, I'm not going to pay. Maybe when Stranger Things comes out, and they're gonna extend it.
And that's something. If you're willing to shuffle, you can always wait for something to come out,
right? And pay for
subscribe to it for a month, binge it during that month, 30 days, and then unsubscribe. It's always an option.
They're going to drag that season out probably.
Oh yeah,
across
they dragged it out.
Months.
They dragged out the last season for at least a month and a half. I think they really tried to get 2 month subscription out of people. So that good for them, I guess. So the way I look at it is there's 2 options here. Is either Netflix, this fails for Netflix, and they start drastically losing money, which they've been kind of going down for a little bit anyways. They haven't really been going up as much, from what I'm understanding.
Too much competition.
There's a lot of competition. So either there's 2 options. Either this does really well, and the other streaming services take note and do the same thing. Right. Or this does really poorly, and Netflix just screws up. And I don't think it'll go as far as Netflix going bankrupt, but it would probably hurt them.
But and I'm saying the same thing. I want to know what direction you think it's going to go. And I don't want you in the middle.
The reason
I know you do, but I know you do. No. But this is honestly.
No. Because I know what I think, and I'm gonna say it right now. I think it's gonna be the latter. I think honestly, it's going to be fine for them. It's going to work. It will affect who it will affect, which is people that aren't very tech savvy, and the other streaming services. At first, will use it towards their advantage, basically. Utilizing the fact that they don't have it, like, hey, we don't have it, so get it from us, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Come to us because we don't have it. And then when the buzz wears off and everybody's just kind of used to it, they'll just start doing it too. and start making more money,
Right.
and because that's how businesses work, they just get slimier and slimier. But that's just me. That's what I think. What about you guys?
I honestly think you're right, Alan. I think that people are going to have an initial kind of outrage, like, oh, well, this sucks and blah blah blah. But I don't think it's going to affect Netflix's top dollar. And I think other companies they'll like the way Verizon and AT&T always used to be like, well, we have unlimited data, blah blah blah. And then the next thing you know, the next one was like, well, we have unlimited data too, but we have it for 5 people, and it's like, and now no one does it anymore.
Right. Now it's all.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so
they tried
I think it's honestly going to go the same way.
They tried to regulate the internet too, and that didn't. I mean, that hasn't worked.
You're right.
But I disagree with you guys. So you guys are saying it's going to work out ultimately for them. I don't think so. I think the whole reason, the biggest reason Netflix was successful with their streaming was because it was not cable. And they're literally moving back to a cable subscription. Yeah. And then if you look at like the Disney bundle, like live TV, it's just a cable package with Hulu now.
Well, everyone's doing cable though. That's the thing. Everyone's turning it into cable.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think the initial upheaval is going to die out. I think, and maybe I'm speaking just for myself, but I think there's a lot of people that are like, no, I got this subscription because I didn't want to pay full price for cable. I thought cable was outrageously expensive and not worth it. And now it's like, I'm already paying for the other one. So Netflix, what do you have to offer? Not much. You have the Arnold show, which doesn't look great. And then Stranger
I didn't even
Things.
know that was a thing. I just randomly saw something about it the other day.
They're heavily.
Like, what is this?
It caught my eye because I was like, "Oh, I'm curious," and then I started watching a little bit more. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like I watched more trailers and kind of looked it up, but I was like, I'm good, right? And so it was like, you can't even draw me in with your big headliners. And I just think, and maybe this is just me being optimistic, but I think the general consensus is like we're trying to get rid of cable, right? We're trying to get rid of those prices, and it's still around. I know it is, but I just hope that it doesn't. I hope it just falls back on them and it hurts them in the long run. And I think it will.
And that's a valid concern because it ultimately the streaming services has made piracy less common, even though piracy is easier nowadays than it has ever been. And so that is another valid thing. I mean, once it becomes more complicated to get the shows you want, you could just go download it somewhere else. You don't have to pay them to get it. Someone will pirate it, and then you can just reap the benefits if you really wanted to.
Well, I don't like that either, but I get what
I don't either, but it encourages it though. That's for certain.
You mean like with this model, like with what Netflix
is? The more expensive it gets, the more difficult it is to get you your shows, the ones you actually want to watch. The more pricey it becomes, the more likely that people are just going to go pirate it.
I don't like
that's why Netflix was benefit. That's why it was such a benefit at the beginning, is because it was such an easy way to get what you wanted.
Yeah, right. We're same there, but I don't like the argument that it encourages piracy, because I feel like that makes the consumer sound just as scummy as the businesses, which maybe we are. Maybe we are out for ourselves all the time. But because for me, there was a time when, yes, I would pirate something, but I don't like that anymore. And so for me, if there's something on there that I want to watch, I'm paying for it, right? Like, and I think a lot of people think that way too. And then maybe it does encourage piracy, but that doesn't cross my mind anymore. Right. Not for me.
If that's the case for you, that's fine. But I would argue the reason why you pirate things when you're younger is you don't have as much cash flow. If they start making things to the point where it's expensive again to your average consumer who has money, then they could just easily as fall back into the piracy. I mean, if it's too expensive, but I want to watch it. Well, there's a way to do it. That's all I'm getting at.
I suppose that's not why I got out of piracy, but
Well,
I mean,
no, but I would argue that most people. But I mean, that you don't think that
I don't think it's most
you
people.
don't think that helped the case, you having a little bit more disposable income.
I think it's why I got into piracy. This is just weird saying that, and I did a lot of it. I did.
Yeah. When you sailed the open seas, I know.
I did quite a bit. Like we could go a whole cast. As you
I'm
know,
sure we could.
you were there. You
I
saw
was
a lot
there
of it
alongside you. I saw a lot of it. Yep.
No, I got out of it because my mind was changed about it, and I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on about having more income with it. I just think I wanted to. I don't know. I think I just grew up and I matured and said I want to pay for things the right way, and that's kind of where I was at. Not so much that I had more money, but that I just wanted to do things the right way. And so. Yeah. Now that being said, I bought a Retroid Pocket to emulate some Game Boy Advance games, but
that all might be true and all, Kyle. And you know, it is a good thing to do something along the lines because morally and ethically, it's the right thing to do. But there is a but. I do agree with Alan, and I do think that the evidence is there to show that disposable income, people with more disposable income are far less likely to do things along a criminal line, and piracy is along a criminal line. And so I think Alan is right in this. I don't think it's for everybody. But I do think that disposable income and also access has a lot to do with it. And Netflix had access to a lot of things back when it first came out that you couldn't find easily in other places. So I think access and income do play a big part in people's decisions on whether they're going to pirate something or not. But that's also, I'm just saying I agree with Alan. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying.
And maybe that is the case. I haven't seen that across the board, right? I've seen people that had plenty of wealth and decided to pirate. And
so before we move off of this topic, I don't mean to cut you off, Kyle. I hope. Did you want to finish your statement? I apologize. Plenty of wealth.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel terrible because I was trying to jump. All I wanted to do was ask Tomas, because I know you and me both have done a lot of piracy with things in our younger days. I don't think Tomas did. So would something like this, if it felt like it got too expensive, would you actually consider start going down that route with your history? Because I don't think, and I could be wrong, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure with your history, you haven't really done a lot of piracy. You kind of You reap the benefits of me and Kyle did it once in a while, but you never did it yourself.
No, I reaped a lot of benefits, but I never ventured into it much myself. I did a little bit of stuff on LimeWire here and there, but like nothing.
Oh gosh.
Nothing to the extremes of modding or anything.
And your computer literally melted.
Yeah. So I would say that. So when Kyle and I were living together in the same house, I know that always sounds weird when I say it like that at the beginning, but anyways, we were.
It's a good time.
When we were roommates. Yeah. When we were roommates, I got on a huge Batman kick. I wanted to see all the animated Batmans that come out and stuff like that. I couldn't find them on Netflix. I would have had to pay for them on Amazon and all this other stuff. And so, I went online. I found a site that would allow me to watch it on my computer. And I sat out in the garage, actually with our other roommate, James, and sometimes Kyle as well, and watched Batman. So that's why I threw in the access part. because
access
I
is
don't think it's
a big deal for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's completely income, but I do also think income helps, because instead of having to pay for Amazon to send it to me, I could just watch it for free. And then the access part comes in. I couldn't find it on
any platform, which
any platform. So it was like, all right, so I'm gonna turn to the piracy option. So that's kind of where some of my experience is coming from when I agree with Alan, is saying like I didn't have money and I didn't have access, so
Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't want you guys to feel like I'm like getting on a high horse here.
No.
Or anything. Because, like I said, I've done my fair share of that. And this has been a wild tangent for sure.
Yes, it really is.
So
I'm going to cross off of it soon. So why don't you wrap us up, Kyle?
Yeah, I'll just finish with this too. And I just don't want you guys to feel like I'm like coming at you guys or talking down to anybody who's listening.
I don't feel like that.
I think there is some moral obligation to not go down that road, and just encourage people, if you do feel obligated to go to piracy, maybe don't think about you have other options. So that's kind of just where I'm at.
Okay.
That's fair. And like I would say, sorry, just real quick, like I was saying, I agree with you, Kyle, that you should at all times take the moral ground, but humans don't always choose the moral ground.
Yeah, and I know that, and so I'm not trying to like make anyone feel guilty or judged. Just trying to let them know they got options. So
all right, so at the moment there's options to watch things, so we'll see what happens
or
with
not
Netflix.
If you're not paying for Netflix,
you don't have to watch it. There's also things you can watch that are free
if you're just sharing passwords.
Yeah, just sharing passwords. Okay, so we're going to move off of that topic. It's always a fun topic. It's a fun conversation when we start talking about piracy, because we all have various histories with it. We were all once pirates at some point.
Oh, yes, to some degree or another.
But I know what I didn't pirate. I didn't pirate Diablo 4. And I have been playing it with Tomas, and not with Kyle, because I don't know if Kyle got it. And I don't think he did.
I don't know if you have it, Kyle.
No.
We were talking about it last night.
No, I mean, I'm not opposed to getting it, but there was this other small indie game that came out last time we recorded.
Dude, it's so old news, though. I mean, can't you just did you beat it already? Jeez.
It's
sorry. I know it's a wandering game, and we're having a great time with it. But we're playing Diablo 4. And we're having a great time. We were discussing it last night, and you know how kind of against streaming Tomas was, but even he was bringing up, he said, well, maybe we could play Diablo 4 while we do the podcast.
While we do it, that'd be cool.
And I was like, the only issue is I don't think Kyle has Diablo 4, and so I let him know that.
Well, you know what? I could get on board with that, though. I like that.
That is something we can talk about then.
I will say it runs pretty well, considering that it's like just came out, which I find impressive.
Yeah.
I've only had a couple issues.
The only issues I've had have been server stuff.
Yeah. The one thing though that bugged me about it is, so it came out. So if you paid extra, you could play it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Any other game that I pre-order or even just buy on Thursday, I could play that day. And that kind of annoyed me about Diablo. Like,
it is an interesting marketing strategy, but it also works because it feeds off of the FOMO. So if for those who don't know, if you paid for the deluxe edition or higher of Diablo 4, which is there's deluxe and ultimate, you got to play the game 4 days early. So you get to start and jump in and play the game. Now, I don't really care because I'm not trying to get to end game super fast. It doesn't bother me. I know people are going to get into it. I didn't do it because, not that I couldn't afford it, but I didn't do it because I didn't honestly know how much time I'd be able to play in those 4 days to make it worth it to pre-order it. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to get the regular one. I don't care enough. And I did. And I'm enjoying it very much so. We have a friend named Brian who, not the one who's been on the cast, but actually both of them did. Both the Brians did. That's right.
Brian's got it. Yeah.
They got the deluxe or higher. I don't know which ones they got. I think it was just deluxe, but they started playing 4 days early. So when me and Tomas put our toes in when it came out, they were already deep in the waters. Yeah. And so they did come back and play with us at our level. But it's a little bit annoying. I won't deny that. It's a little bit annoying when you have somebody who just knows where everything is. And so I'm not a huge fan. I kind of would like to explore a little bit, but we were just kind of rushing through stuff. And granted, we were doing the hardcore mode, and maybe it was partially my choice because I didn't say anything, and I didn't just say I wanted to do casual as much. So it was kind of on me. I could have said, well, I want to explore more, whatever, but I did
Stop holding my hand.
Yeah, stop holding my hand. But I did have a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I did have a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I will say this afternoon I got to do a little bit of casual play on like my druid, and so I played probably as much as we played last night on my druid this afternoon, and I got half the distance. I'm sure. Exploring, also listening. I like the story. I like listening to the little stories between everybody. I don't every bit of story, not just the main story. I like to listen to the conversations. I like to do the side quest. I like all that.
Right.
I like building out the lore. It's enjoyable to me. So
I think I'm probably in the same boat. Actually, at first I was kind of like, I don't understand that, but I did that same experience. Final Fantasy 11, the first MMO for Final Fantasy, that happened to me. I hopped in, found a guy that was way up high level. We partnered up. He got me to like level 10 in like an hour or two. It was just like super quick, right? And I had to go. And I was like, cool, next time I hop online, I should be, good to go because I got all these levels. And I just kept dying over and over and over. So I quit, canceled my subscription, never looked back at that game. So it literally ruined that game for me because, I couldn't find that guy again, or I didn't save. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, first of all. And so I didn't save like his information or anything. This was a long time ago. This is Final Fantasy 11. This was before, I think this was before Discord, and so like that there's a ways around that now, and through Dark Souls actually, like I played with you, Tomas, but I found like quite a few people on Dark Souls that we would link up, like, hey, I'm travel over here as soon as they saw me pop online, I needed help, and so there's ways around that now. But that being said, Alan, you were talking about like doing all the side quests and everything, and you kind of gawked at my experience with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is the best game ever made.
Would you declare it is better than Breath of the Wild?
I have no reason to play Breath of the Wild ever again. I don't think I can. This
is just like Breath of the Wild but better,
like 2.0. I mean,
I've seen some pretty crazy things on it though. Like I saw this one video where like a dude had like a jet.
Yeah. Dude.
And then another video where like some dude was like, I made a torture chamber, and he just like throws this thing on top of the enemies, and it's just like, what the?
Yeah, dude. It's just endless, right? And people's creativity is the limit with it. And I like with that aspect, I've only like gone to the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, because I've seen a couple of those online too, and I try not to. I'm really trying to discover and explore everything in that game firsthand, and so my contraptions are like, I get the wings up off the ground, and I'm happy. I'm like, I'm just flying around in the air, and I get shot down, and I'm like, that's fine because I've never been able to do that in a Zelda game. And then I'll next time I'll attach a rocket booster. Next time I'll attach a laser beam on it or whatever. So I'm like slowly progressing. I know there's people out there that have been playing it like crazy and just literal like Gundams walking around.
Yeah,
I love seeing the videos of it. To be honest, I won't lie that I've been really enjoying it. I've been hearing the durability system is better, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. The same. It feels like Breath of the Wild. It's just bigger map, dude. Like the fact that they opened the map up by like they tripled it, like that's crazy. And it's on the same console, right? Like I didn't think you could do that. And then like
that's what a lot of people are like. There's a lot of articles of game developers just baffled. It doesn't seem possible.
It doesn't.
Like, the amount of stuff they do with that hardware.
Other than fast travel, there's no loading times, right? So you could literally go from the sky and dive into the depths underground without a loading screen. And like, I'm like, okay, that's not super crazy, but on a Switch, on a 6-year-old
Switch
console,
with the hardware of the Switch, yes, that is nuts.
It is crazy, and so I'm just loving it. Like I'm literally just opening up the map, taking my sweet time, and what happens is you walk around, you find a cave, and you're like, well, I want to go in that cave, and then you come out 20 minutes later, you're like, what was I even doing? Where I forgot to put the map. I forgot to put the pin on the map, and I'm okay. I'll just find another cave, or hey, what's that guy doing? And it's like, it's just there's so much, and I haven't even gone to the sky hardly at all. It's like, oh boy. And my wife's like, are you done? I was like, not even close. And she's like, how do you know? I was like, oh, I know. I was like, the map's not unlocked.
Yeah.
I haven't even opened the map, so I'm not anywhere close to being done. Sorry, sweetie. It's gonna be all summer.
This is gonna be that's awesome. I'm glad you're having an amazing time with it. My son also loved it. I'm just gonna say one more thing about Diablo. Just if you want to play with us, come join our Discord and we can play some Diablo 4 too.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, Tears of the Kingdom is not multiplayer, but we'll have to see. You have to post some videos or something of you playing Tears of the Kingdom. That'd be fun. I don't know how you can do it, but it'd be fun.
I mean, I could do the snapshots at least.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be cool. See if you find anything and put in our Discord so we can see something crazy you made. It looks fun. If I had more time and I wasn't this game and also Final Fantasy 16 coming out, I definitely would be playing it, or at least trying to play it.
Let me ask you this: what was like the craziest thing you fought besides, maybe the ending boss on Breath of the Wild? In your opinion, Alan? So I know you just recently beat it. Like, just maybe like when you're wandering, what was one of the craziest things you ran into?
Probably one of those centaurs, maybe. Those are pretty nuts.
Yeah, so that guy is like low-level thug compared to what they put into this game now, what you run into. And it's just, I mean, it's happened a couple of times when I go underground and I just run into something. I'm like, oh, okay, so this just batshit crazy down here. Okay, we're gonna do this. So I don't want to spoil anything or ruin it for you guys, but those things are like kind of tame compared to what the things that are roaming around now.
Sounds like a lot of fun, but we are going to move on to our last bit of review news-ish, as Tomas actually saw something recently and was pretty excited, and then this is what we're going to wrap up our podcast at this point. So, Tomas, what's up, Kyle?
Well, what website did you watch it on? Was it legit?
I rented it on Amazon. I did rent it.
Oh, you paid for it.
Yeah,
is it already out? I didn't.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Jeez, I'm so.
There you go. All right. Well, now we know that he rented it. But what movie was this that you watched, Tomas?
It was Shazam. I guess exclamation mark is the actual title. Shazam exclamation mark Fury of the Gods.
You don't need to say it though.
Not Kazam, right?
No, not Kazam.
No, that's the masterpiece starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille's wonderful masterpiece.
Yes.
So I don't know how many of you liked the first one. I liked the first one.
Alan did.
I thought it was okay. Yeah, I thought it was good. Compared to the other DC movies that were coming out at the time, it was a step up for sure.
Right? Exactly. I completely agree. Well, if you didn't like the first one, Kyle, you're definitely gonna hate the second one.
I am
because leaned into everything you hated.
Because they did. They definitely leaned into the whole idea of him being a kid as Shazam and everything, to the point that Shazam was slightly, not slightly. He was just dumb.
Mm.
Like it just
Not
it was
not
it
immature,
got,
just dumb.
yeah, it just got to the point where it was just like, man, his kid side is more mature than his adult side.
Are they going for that? Like, it's so weird.
I don't know what they were trying to do. I've heard, this is what I ended up hearing. What I ended up hearing was that because the DCEU is changing hands.
Oh, right.
In terms of who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, this whole Shazam movie kind of got to the point of it doesn't really matter. Like, this movie, it's not really going to be Shazam because we're going to do Shazam right when we do it.
Reboot it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really kind of got the feeling like that when I was watching the movie. It's like, I don't even think that some of these people cared what the story is here.
You could feel that? Like,
yeah, it just feels crappy. It feels crappy. It feels preachy. The only thing that's really good is kind of like the special effects at the end, because they have all these monsters running around the town and everything, and it's like, okay, well, those were kind of good special effects, but
isn't it the end of the first one?
I don't remember.
Was that the same?
Anyways,
sorry.
Well, I guess this is like, I don't remember if it was the same ending as the first one, but like the idea was that, like, anyways, it's not good.
Wow.
I'm not happy that, like, I didn't like the first one, but I'm not ever happy when a superhero movie is not good. You know?
It just didn't feel, and it's not like they didn't. It's just they leaned too much into what they did in the first one, and so it didn't feel like a novelty anymore. It just felt like a hack. Like, it just felt like you're just copying the first one way too much. Like, Deadpool 2 copies Deadpool 1 a lot, right? But it doesn't get to the point where you're just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just shut up. Like, it's just so preachy. It got really, really preachy.
Oh,
like,
really?
It was.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the Fast and the Furious stuff in it was just ridiculous. Like, every other joke was a Fast and the Furious joke. It was just like,
really?
I don't understand why this is so funny. It's about family.
It never ages well when they try to use the jokes of that time, that time period. Because when you watch it in a different time period, it starts becoming like, I guess that was funny. When I was a kid, but
I get a
not
reference
as much
for that.
now.
I give you a good example for that. Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. I actually played it for the students the last week of school because I was like, look, I know you guys are tired of watching Coco and Shrek. So I bought Spider-Man on Amazon. I was like, we're just going to watch Spider-Man. I know there's a little bit of cussing, but you guys say worse things to my face. So, and there's some students that can't handle it. So I just didn't play it during that class. But anyways, we're watching it, and here's the part that it's still funny to me, but it also could be like, that's not going to make sense 5 years from now.
It's dated.
Norman Osborn is in captivity, and he says, I'm something of a scientist myself, because that was a meme. Like, even before that movie came out, that was like an old meme, and and when he said it was funny, and I got it, but that's been a couple of years now, and when he said it now, I was like, none of these kids that are watching it, none of the middle schoolers know what that even means. They're like, did he say that before? Was that from the first movie? It's like, yes, but it became a meme, and people would say it about the stupid, anyways, it's not, the joke's over, right? And then the biggest one was X-Men 3, The Last Stand with the Juggernaut.
Oh my word.
My
goodness. I forgot about that.
Most of that movie is cringe, but that
was definitely cringe, especially him, because he was from Snatch. I remember seeing him in Snatch, and I was kind of annoyed that he was going to play Juggernaut, but he was a big guy in Snatch, so I was like, well, maybe. And when you saw him, and then he did that, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so bad.
It was bad, right? And now, if you were to watch that, nobody, like, obviously we still get it, but someone to watch it for the first time would be like, what
Yeah.
Is he just a jerk? I was like, well, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's a whole video.
That's a whole.
You had to have been there.
You had to be there, right? So yeah, like those are two like examples of probably what you're talking about in superhero movies that are like, oh, that's not gonna go. I mean, Spider-Man's gonna be fine because that movie's great, but X-Men, it's just not helping anything in that movie.
Yeah.
All right.
But
well,
so that's my whole thing.
Yeah, I guess you can't consider us like. I mean, I don't know. We I guess we don't like everything, and sounds like this one's not that great either. I mean, I want to talk about Batman, but we can leave that later. Flash, I mean,
Yeah,
getting
we'll do it
6
further.
IGN, but I don't want to keep bashing DC. I think we should just close it out.
Yeah, it's too easy.
It's too. It unfortunately is too easy, and that's the sad
right
part.
now.
I really hope they figure something out.
Yeah, see,
yes,
we're all hopeful. It's a little funny, and I'm enjoying it, but I don't want it to be this way forever.
No,
like,
I don't either.
Yep. So yeah, we'll save it.
Yep. All right. Well, that was a good cast. I enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see you next time in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about some more fun stuff. So see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.